Va?
Thank you. And this seminar will be held in English because Naomi is from Tanzania and speaks English. Welcome, Naomi. Your name is Naomi Nyalusi. You're from Iringa Development of Youth, Disabled and Children Care from Tanzania. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you.
And my colleague here is Linus Edlund. I know in the program it says Ann Svensson. Unfortunately, she couldn't come. She has come down with a cold. So Linus Edlund, he's communications officer at IM Swedish Development Partner. And my name is Eva Emmelin. I also work at IM. The theme of this discussion is the traditional role of men and how this role affects not only women, but whole societies. And I'm going to ask Linus first. You are working with 6 films about 6 countries and 6 women. I wanted to ask you about one of these films in particular, about a woman. She's in the picture here. You might not be able to see her, but you can find the film and the picture in our booth over there. Her name is Reina Guzman, and I think she lives in El Salvador. And how has her life been affected by the macho man stereotype that is very common in Central America?
Yes, when she was young, she fell in love with this man and got married, and they lived a very happy life, and there was a lot of love in the marriage. But then they got kids, and everything changed. The husband started to drink, and eventually even physically abuse her. So the relationship went to from very happy to a very dark relationship. And she asked herself, how can this man love me so much but still beat me? And she couldn't figure it out. And her daughter started to blame the mother for her husband beating her, and couldn't really understand why the mother couldn't change, so her dad wouldn't beat her mother. It wasn't until the daughter herself got married and her husband started to beat her when she realized what her mother been through all these years. And together they went to this local organization called RUM, Red Union de Mujeres, who work with women's rights and empowering women. And together they managed to convince the husband that this behavior was bad behavior and it needed to change. And after a while they managed to change the husband. Now he doesn't beat them and the relationship is great. And they tried to start working this, start to help other women, other young women in the society, in the community, to get them to know their rights, that their boyfriends can't beat them, that they should come to women who already been through this and get the knowledge and get to know their rights. Because this machoism, what it's called in El Salvador, is very widespread and very common. And it's very hard to eradicate the culture that's been in the country for so long. And yeah.
What is this machoism?
It's a culture where men decides everything. The women should be at home, not have a word in anything. They can't decide anything. Most of the women in El Salvador work unemployed at home. They work for no money, so just take care of the family. And every year a lot of women get murdered and beaten because of this. I think the first 3 months this year it was like 250 women was murdered and molested because of this machismo. It's called, these women have a special name called feministus something. That it's very bad.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And this film about Reina Guzman, you can watch it also on the internet on människohjälp.se/handlingskraft. Is that right? Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
these films are positive. We want to lift show the empowered women, to show they have the possibility. The possibility is there to change. There is a possibility to change the community, and that's what all the web series about, showing these good results and making other women. We're going to show these films in their countries as well, so other girls and women can see that they can change if they want to.
Thank you. And Naomi, you work in Iringa district in Tanzania, right?
Yes.
Yes. Can you describe for us the traditional role of men in this district?
In Tanzania, especially in Iringa, there is one tribe called Hehe. So every tribe has its own tradition and customs. But when we talk about a role of men to the family, most of men are used to be head of the family. So they have much voice rather than women. So they can make decisions without collaboration with their wife or whatever. So they have more power than women. Their role starts to be identified when they are still young. For example, most of boys, when they are still young, they are supposed to go to sit with their father, not helping their parents, their mother to work or to do home activities. So they grow up with that attitude. When they are elders, they can't do anything which can help their sisters or to help their mothers to do home activities. So their roles start when they are still young. When you go to women, women are the one who are carrying all the burden of the family. So they have to cook, they have to take care of their children, they have to, for example, for those women who are depending on alcohol business, they have to make alcohol and sell it for the aim of getting basic needs of their family. So if you compare the role of men and women, women have many roles than men, and men feel that they are the head of the family, so they can't do anything which is relating to their...
Okay. And you work especially with the problem of alcohol consumption, right? Maybe you can tell us a bit about this and how the drinking also affects how the men treat their family?
In the area where we work, most of the alcohol being used there is local brew, and it's made by maize and wheat. So you can see they use their food to make alcohol. So if you look on the rate of consumption, men are more consuming alcohol than women. Women are just making it at home and go to sell to the local bar, or sometimes they sell it at home, which is very dangerous to children's life. So men are the ones who are consuming the alcohol than women. So when they consume, many problems occur. Especially men do not take care of their families. Also, they are fighting with their wives sometimes, even though there are some women who are fighting with their husband while they are drunk, but the rate is more to men fight with their wife.
And how can you work with this problem? What do your organization do to fight the problem?
As IOGT-NTO, we do awareness creation to the community. We want the community to know the problems and to know the source of problems. And most of the problems are being associated by alcohol consumption. That's real. Because even if you look on the rate of HIV in Iringa, the main source is alcohol. Alcohol is the main source which contributes to the spread of HIV and other diseases. Also, when you look on the family violence, alcohol is the source of family violence. So we, as IOGT-NTO, we do awareness creation to the community. So if the community will be aware, they can decide whether to put some laws which can help to prevent GBV, gender-based violence, also to put some laws which can help to protect child rights and women's rights.
Okay, thank you. And Linus, I wanted to ask you, the films, they are all about women, but we are talking now here about the man's role. So is IAM Swedish Development Partner working also with the man's role in these countries?
Yes, empowering women is important, but it's equally important to educate men about this problem. And we support groups and circles that is about equality and making sure the men know women's rights and women know about men's rights as well. It's an equal society. So we also support groups that it's mixed, both men and women.
Okay. Naomi, I think you said before that the women are the ones making the alcohol that is consumed in this region. How can you lower the rate of drinking without taking away their income? You said the women are selling the alcohol, so that's a source of income for them in a very poor district, I think. How can they stop selling alcohol and do something else?
In our organization, we have several programs that we implement. Among of these is microfinance program. So we provide soft loans to that women who decide to leave alcohol business and do another business. So that's the strategy that we think can help them to. But before giving them loan, we just educating them on the if they get profit on alcohol or whatever. But there is no any kind of profit they get because they use a lot of maize, which is we depend it on food and cook alcohol without getting any kind of profit. So we just have discussion with them. We conduct focus group discussion and agree with them. So we just start to change their attitude, their mind, so they can decide what kind of business they can do.
Linus, the other women that we are portraying in the films, can you tell us some more about them?
Of course. They are all strong women that are today empowered, but they all started from scratch, and they didn't really know how to rise and get empowered. So they all, somehow they all got included in some kind of a group, some self-rights groups. And through that, they learned the rights, and that's the first start to claim the rights in society, to claim rights with the state and the small local community, and that's the first step they take. And then they kind of rise and they get jobs, and many of them start working in these organizations as well, because they see the problem is so large and so big and widespread. They feel they need to do something as well. So.
But are they married? Do they have men in their life? And is there a common problem with this? Is the role of the men always a problem?
I would like to say no, but in some ways all the women have had problems with men and with alcohol especially. One of the women doesn't live with her husband. They kind of have when he needs to drink, he lives in another house, and they kind of manage. So today, all of the women are found a way to live and claim their rights. That's the important part. They change their life, and they change their families. And today, all the women are very, very happy. And I'm very glad. They're empowered women.
I know there's a scene in the film from Malawi where this man who drives a bicycle taxi is asking the woman that's the main character in the film how does her husband allow her to do this, and she says, well, he did think I was going to do bad things, but when he saw that I earn money, he kind of liked it. So was something like that, right? Yeah,
that's a common thing. Usually, men are against women making money in the beginning. They have feelings. They're gonna maybe meet another man and stuff like that. It's a lot about insecurity in men. But when they see that the women isn't getting another man, they're just making money, just want to do something for the family, all the men change and they support the women. And this is spreading as well. So other men say, aren't you worried your woman going to do something? And they said, no, it works out fine. And then he's letting her wife getting a job or whatever. So we see a lot of small businesses that started from scratch just because the women want to do something and not just stay at home. So yeah.
Thank you. And Naomi, just to finish up, I think we're almost out of time. But how do you feel about the development of the area where you're in? Are you hopeful about the how things are becoming?
For now, we have some success stories. If you go to YouTube, you can find IDC best practice, because where we have succeeded, we used a certain approach called the community-based approach. This is participatory approach. So everyone in the community should participate to find the strategies to reduce alcohol consumption or availability. So up to now we have 69 families which has been linked with microfinance program. They have changed from selling alcohol to another business. So others are doing animal keeping, others are cooking bites and other activities which they think they can be done in their environments.
And your organization is a partner organization of IOGT-NTO, right?
Yes.
So you have a booth over there. So if anyone here wants to talk more about this with you, you will be here today, I think.
Okay.
And Linus will be in the IM booth over there. And we will also show one of the films, the one from Malawi, at 3 in the Lilla Scenen, together with Siavosh Derakti, who has been traveling with us to Malawi. So it would be nice to see you there also. Thank you.
Thank you very much.